What changes would you like to see made in the starting 11, and which players particularly really need to perform to get the edge over Australia in the second test?
Look, for the first time in his career, I think Hashim Amla's position in the side is coming under fairly serious scrutiny. Difficult one because, you know, he's been such a master player for so many years, and there aren't too many players on the outside who you think you could confidently bring in and would score you 160 in a test match, which is the kind of thing Hashim Amla can do. I mean, Hashim Amla can score you 311 in a test match if he wants to. We've seen that before. You don't drop a guy like that too easily. He also has a terrible Kingsmead hoodoo that continued at the weekend. His average has now dipped to something like 18 at Kingsmead. I know. I mean, it's of course he now represents the Cobras, but he's born in Durban and played for the Dolphins for many years up until I think about 2013. So yes, it was in a sense going home, and he's just never seemed to get runs there. So a bit of pressure on him to do well. I think maybe Temba Bavuma needs to be considered again. The one thing about Temba is that he knuckles down. He's got gritty qualities. You know, they say he makes too many 40s, 50s, but he gets stuck in. He actually sticks to the crease. Brilliant fielder too. I think we could do with a little bit of a shake-up in that department. He gives you a certain energy in the field. But again, it depends on his finger. He's another guy who's been nursing a finger injury, so they'll have to assess that. He wasn't apparently ready for Durban, so they've got to look at that. And then, as Garen said, I think Morne Morkel, there'll be a bit of scrutiny. They might stick with his experience. He's getting closer to that 300 wickets now. Bit of an incentive, I suppose, for him to do well in PE. But Lungi Ngidi, if the pitch goes a bit up and down in Port Elizabeth, there's a chance that the bounce that he can generate, he's a big powerful fellow, might have to be considered. So that might be a change, but who knows? You know, they might just decide not to press the panic button yet after one test and sort of stick with, rightly or wrongly, with what they've got.
Garen, finally, what a lot of people are talking about this morning, of course, is this altercation between Quinton de Kock and David Warner in the stairwell. That was caught on CCTV. I'm not sure who sourced that or how that came, you know, sort of went viral. But anyway, but again, just sort of highlighting I'm not sure what sort of disciplinary sort of sanctions are going to come from that. But obviously, this is what you come to expect between South Africa and Australia, with, you know, the sledging and the tension and the rivalry, and in a way it's kind of, I mean, that's a bit of an ugly scene, but it's good to see that competitiveness.
Yeah, absolutely. You sort of expected that, and you probably weren't surprised that it came from David Warner to start with. You know, ahead of a massive series like this is, you know, they want to get the upper hand. I don't think any team will win the mental battle against Australia. They're pretty strong mentally. And, you know, it all sort of started with the AB de Villiers first ball run out, with Markram playing the ball to David Warner, who threw it then to Nathan Lyon, who ran out AB de Villiers. He then dropped the ball next to or on AB de Villiers as he sort of lay sprawled on the ground, and then David Warner went off giving a mouthful in the direction, I think, of both departing AB de Villiers and
if only we could know what was said.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't think we'll know that. And then it sort of like boiled over again as apparently they left. I think it was after the tea break, walking up the stairwell, you know, having a go at him again. 50% came out. I think Rabada was there, and Usman Khawaja, credit to him, he was sort of the only one trying to restrain old David Warner. But, you know, certainly the ICC match referee will have a word. Apparently Nathan Lyon's sort of been disciplined already. I'm not sure what anything happens to David Warner, but it won't be the last time. He'll find a way, you know, off camera, off microphone, to have a bit of a sledge and a dig. And I suppose if you're winning, it's difficult to sort of retort. I'm not sure what you know, it's always look at the scoreboard is the typical way of responding to that. And Australia 1-0 up in the 4-test series. South Africa will have to do their talking, I guess, you know, out in the crease and taking the 20 wickets they need to win.
I was reading an article in the Sydney Morning Herald, and apparently the players are saying, because of David Warner, obviously he was very sort of vocal and aggressive back in the day, but then sort of took on this new sort of approach and spirit of the game and being the vice captain, and now they're saying,
don't believe too much of that.
The Reverend's gone and the Bull's back.
Yeah, it seems a bit like that. And he's had altercations in the past. I think Joe Root and him had a bit of a fallout as well. So, you know, he's not the most innocent. We heard Graham Smith having a go at old Davey Warner, calling him a bit of a fool. So, you know, there's no love lost, I think, between Australia and South Africa going back many, many years, and particularly when David Warner is concerned.
That should be a good series.
Yeah.
Thanks, gents.
Thanks, Nick.